Welcome to Beyond the Box.
Our guests are insiders that are now out and on our side, dropping nuclear intel and breaking it down just for you.
And now it's time to introduce our hosts, Brenda Lankridge and Suzanne Haunt. Join us and subscribe for weekly shows. Beyond the Box begins now. Let's jump in.
Hi, everyone. I woke up late, like within 30 minutes of having to get ready. Hence the reason I look like this. Cha-cha-cha. Anyways, so we're going to do a little bit of Black Friday today. And hence the reason why I called it Black Friday Outage. No, out. What did I call it? Out something or another. I don't even remember anymore, guys, but it's okay. Because we're going to talk a little bit about Hollywood. We're going to talk a little bit about big mega preachers. And we're going to talk a little bit about a surprise in the next hour. And we're bringing the evidence to the table, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing it out. I guess you can say, you don't poison me and my dog on SUZY's watch. Don't do it on SUZY's watch. So, and we have both been through just like this bad experience day to day, I think because of what we're going to talk about, but we don't think that it was, like anything good telling us, oh, don't do this, girls. No, we think it was bad. And it ended up knocking me out. I slept all freaking day. All day. I mean, just dead to the world slept all day. And I'm not a light sleeper. And I mean, I'm a light sleeper. So I just, ugh. So SUZY, what have you been doing today?
Yeah, my day from hell, it seems like, I think. Went to go get hay and ended up having a couple parvo puppies, and that didn't turn out well. Then I had a cow, red cow, looking at me from the other side of my fence outside the road on the gate. So we're chasing dogs, chasing cows, and I already told the hay guy I'm on my way, but we went and got the hay and got back, and then I had to fix fence. Me and Joel had to roll fence down the hill and fight with fence all until it got dark, and oh my god. So it's like it was I felt like I was under a spiritual attack all day. It just felt like everything was coming at me that could come at me, and it was trying to bring a lot of stress, and I was like so short and aggravated at Joel and Roger, and I said, "Look, it's not you guys at all. It's hard when I bought these shots from Tractor Supply for the parvo, gave them their shots, and 2 of them got parvo and died today after they were vaccinated. So that is like a very frustrating feeling and a very sickening, horrible feeling when you know, um, you done took care of it. You gave them the shot, and then they end up with parvo. That's not supposed to happen, you know.
Right.
So, can you hear me, Brenda? Because I got a call.
It went down a little bit. Your volume went down a little bit.
I can't hardly hear you. Let me go out and come back in.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
See, it's one of those days. I'm telling you, it's one of those days.
Yep. Okay, so while we're waiting for her to go out and come back in, it has been one of those days. I think that what we're going to do tonight is probably going to severely piss off a few people, but you know, we are such good people and we get crapped on way too much, and we're fed up. We're fed up. It's, yes, yes. So we are a little fed up with being crapped on, and we keep hearing all kinds of stuff, and uh, we are done. We're done. We're done. It is time for us to stand up for ourselves. We just are tired of being everybody thinking that we're like the bad people, and we're not. But we're going to be tonight.
There we go. Okay.
We're going to be the bad people tonight.
Uh-oh. So
Oh,
yeah, we are going to do that. I'm back. But okay, so yeah, we're gonna be we got bad news tonight. It's Black Friday. Okay. So I mean, what does that kind of say for? You know what I mean? It is kind of a Black Friday. It's kind of dark today. And so we're gonna kind of like talk about some things that aren't so, you know, pleasant. And if certain people are sensitive to this, they probably don't want to watch this show, right? Because it's going to be kind of rough, right?
yeah, a little bit. It is going to be rough. You guys are going to find out a little bit
Yeah.
more information about some things that we've talked about before, but this time we're showing it, and because we've had enough. Um, so it's time for Susie and I, like I said, to reach down inside of ourselves and step up for ourselves, because we have been battered by too many people lately for no reason. And yes, Norma, it's going to be fun, Norma. And by the way, everybody, if you look in that chat, Julie put something in there that just made me laugh. She said, "Happy Refrigerator Tetris Week." And I thought to myself, wait a minute, what does that mean? Oh, never mind. Everything gets stored in the refrigerator after Thanksgiving for a whole week. It does look like a Tetris box. So I thought, well, that's kind of funny. But so because we're going to probably step over a couple of lines tonight, YouTube, whatever we do and whatever we show, we will give credit to the authors. And this is for entertainment purposes only. So, Susie, would you like to start us off with a prayer to kind of make sure nothing crashes on our heads while we're trying to
Yeah.
do this?
All right. All right. I just ask. I ask the Father to guide, lead, and protect us, and to help us with what we're going to talk about tonight. And and not I don't want to come in there with our take on it or our opinions on it, but I want to try to keep neutral and just you know allow, because I feel like what we're going to talk about is a lot of things that are done in the darkness, and then what I feel like is that the Father is bringing retribution and bringing justice and bringing um, what is due to them for what they've done. And I pray that he brings it quickly and brings these things to a halt, and that they stop doing what they're doing to a lot of these people. And so that's what I pray in Jesus' name.
And you guys are going to hear puppies because Susie put the other two in the house, and the female keeps trying to eat the male's ear. And
Yeah,
it's okay.
I'm gonna show you here.
Yeah, she's going to get them. Oh, they're just little gorgeous things. They are so gorgeous. Look.
That's the little girl. The
That's the terror.
troublemaker.
That's the troublemaker. Look at her.
And come here, you. And this is the little boy. Yes.
Poor baby. Are you getting beat up
And she's
on?
chewing on his ear. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Y'all try to behave if you can. Okay.
Yeah, right.
They're
If you
talking a
can.
lot.
That's okay. You know what? We all have animals. So on
Oh,
this show, I don't do the whole critical, oh my God, you got to be quiet. You got to keep those things quiet. You know what? Animals are going to be animals. They bark because that's their job. They play when they're puppies. Get over it, people. So, all right.
I'll
So,
try to like tune them out and ignore them, but it's just
oh, we'll all
best I
giggle
can
when we
do.
hear them. It's okay.
He,
So, where we're going to
she's
start
attacking his
tonight.
ear, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Where we're
Yeah.
going to start tonight is we are going to start a little bit with the megachurch preachers. Let's start with that one, Susie. And you know, we've been all hearing stuff about TD Jakes and his stroke. And did he really? And now it's coming around that he's missing. Is he missing? Is he really missing? So I'll
Right.
give my take on that after Susie tells us about the one that she wants to tell us about.
Okay. So I'll tell you about the preacher. So this particular story is about a preacher that um, I went to his church. Now, how it started, this is a weird story. One of these weird stories is I was with a friend and we were at the Jim's restaurant in Austin. And he had opened up his Bible and this card flew out across the table at me. And the name on it was a guy named Jim Cribbs, Kribs, Cribbs, right? Um, so Jim Cribbs' name pops out, and I take the card and I say, "Who's this?" Jim Cribbs. Well, it turns out there was a family sitting behind me that heard me say the name, and they said, "Did you just say Jim Cribbs?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." And they got up, and the guy came over, and he was a preacher, and he goes, "I know Jim Cribbs," and he's a preacher in Elgin. And then it was so weird. It was like 30 degrees at night, and I had told God that day that I was not going to go home until I got baptized that day. And when we went to the church was closed, which it should have been open because it was Sunday. And so we went over to the Jim's restaurant. And then that's when this card flew out at me and it said Jim Cribbs on it. And then the guy says, "Well, I'm a preacher." And I said, "Really?" And I said, "Can you baptize me tonight?" And I said, "You can take me out in the mud puddle. I don't even care." I said, it was like 30 degrees. I said, I don't want to go home until I get baptized. Right. And he said, "Well, I'm from out of town, but he said, but it's really weird because my families they're taking care of this church down the road and we could go over there. I can baptize you tonight." And I'm like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Okay." So we ended up driving over to this church, and it was like, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting baptized in this church by this family. It was the coolest thing. So I decided to go after all that happened, and I go to this church in Elgin, Jim Cribb's church. And it was a United Pentecostal church, right? And so we go to this church, and his wife was so nice, and he had two daughters, and one of them's name was Music, and the other one was Melody. Those were his daughters' names. I thought that was the coolest thing. Music and Melody, his two daughters. And so, anyway, he's preaching away, and everything. And so we went there for I don't know, maybe a year or so. I don't know, to this church, and then I ended up moving from Elgin over to Bastrop area, and I started going. Well, what happened? I can't. Oh, so what happened was apparently he's preaching. Apparently, he was preaching, and he has a heart attack at behind the pulpit, and just has a heart attack. But he lives like T.D. Jakes, just same thing, right? Has a heart attack. Well, next thing I hear about him was he was having an affair with this woman in town. But he's a Pentecostal preacher, and his wife and him got married when they were in high school, after out of high school, right? So they've been together for all this time, but he's having an affair with this woman, and so it was like this secret affair. So it was like, what I was told was it was like a warning from God. Here, you're having a heart attack while you're preaching. Now you're being warned. Well, the next thing I know, a few years go by, Brenda, and I'm not going to that church anymore because I find out he's kind of like that, and I don't want to go. I don't want to be around somebody that's a hypocrite like that, right? So, um, so one day I pull up to the gas station there in Elgin, and lo and behold, there's Mrs. Cribbs. Now, that woman was the was a true lady. Like, I'm telling you that this woman was so kind. If there was ever a Christian that you could say that's a Christian, this woman was a Christian. Kind, sweet, not any resentment or hatred in her, or not nothing, and just just a absolutely wonderful person, right? So I asked her how she was doing, and she said, "Well, my husband left me." And so she started to tell me the story, and she said, "This is what happened." She said, "He left me for that woman." And she said, "I'm not bitter, I'm not angry. I was with him since out of high school, and have two daughters, but you know she said he moved to Arkansas, and he moved up to Hot Springs. Or no, he moved to, yeah, Little Rock. He moved to Little Rock. Okay. So he moves to Little Rock, and then she says, so he moves to Little Rock, and she said, you know what? He calls me one day, and he tells me how happy he is now married to his new wife. And while he's telling me this, he has a heart attack. He had a heart attack while he told her how happy he was with his new wife. And
Well,
they rushed him. Yeah, and they rush him to the hospital, Brenda, and he dies at the hospital. He dies. So he dies telling her how happy he is that he left and he's with this new woman. But he still loves her, you know what I mean? Like,
oh
but
God.
he's
Yeah.
happy now. He's really happy. Yeah. And I'm like, that is so weird. It's like, to me, it was like he has his heart attack behind the pulpit preaching. And that's like, to me, recently, T.D. Jakes, um, I went to T.D. Jakes' church many times off of Keys Boulevard up in Dallas. I used to go up to Dallas, go up the highway, turn on Keys Boulevard, go down to this big old mega church, and had a big old Christian bookstore on one side of it and a coffee thing on the other. And I mean, you talk about high dollar church. This is a nice church, huge parking lot. I mean, you talk about lots and lots and lots and lots of money, millions of dollars invested in this church. That's T.D. Jakes' church. And supposedly T.D. Jakes came from a tiny little 10 people ministry, and now he's this mega preacher. Now, rumor was, Brenda, that his son was gay, and then his son, yeah, that was a rumor, right? And his son got in trouble at the park, something happened, and then there was like all this stuff about his son, and then next thing I hear, TD Jakes is talking about it's okay to be gay, preaching behind the pulpit, it's okay to be gay. Okay, and then it started. It's like TD Jakes went from this really humble preacher that I remember. He said he made a comment one time when he was younger, Brenda. He says that it would be better if I had 10 people and I was close to God than to have thousands of people and lose sight of whatever. right? So
Right.
yet he had thousands of people, and he was involved in some very scandalous stuff, right?
Right.
So he's being called out right now. Many, uh, being good friends with Diddy, and a lot of these rappers and things that are very, very much satanic. And he's being called out because he's having sex with all these, um, young and children
Yep.
too,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And let's not forget the children because um, they like them young. Okay, so
Yep.
it is what it is. So what happened to TD Jakes? I mean, what happened to this preacher who wanted just 10 people and to stay humble, to a man who went, you know, literally down
You
the
know,
bathtub drain,
you know,
with his
I'm I'm gonna say money, greed. That is one of the immortal sins, is greed. I was talking to a friend last night on the phone, and we were talking about hitting the lottery or becoming rich, and what would you do if you had $59 million? And I said, that would be nice, but I think it would be too much money. Too much money. Money does not make you happy. It helps to pay the bills and stuff, but having an overabundance of it, look at what happens. It turns to greed, which is where we started with the Rockefellers, all this money, and it turns to greed. So you start doing things on the dark side. So I can say once again, I would like to know, this Diddy list and the Epstein's list, do they coincide?
right,
And I think that
right,
really Diddy's list, he played more with the entertainers and music, movies, and then Epstein had the politicians and people of high power. So, in my opinion, I think that we're going to start probably seeing more of these people on these lists disappear. And I don't mean because they're running. So, because now they're saying that nobody can find him. Nobody can find TD Jakes. Where'd he go? He just had a stroke. I don't know. When I first had a stroke, and in 3-4 days, I couldn't get up and wander off. So, what happened there? It's just very, very fishy. Now, we have a video. Susie, do you want me to play that video?
sure, yeah.
Okay.
Ollie Carter.
So
Ollie
in
Carter has
this,
come on the Awake Nation. Yeah, and
yeah,
she she's a whistleblower who's been telling, she was in some of these events, and she witnessed all this stuff. And this little girl she's tough. She's tough as beans, this girl is. I mean, she's tough. And, I got to give her credit, God bless her, you know. So, yeah, we're going to watch a little video
yeah.
of her, and she's going to
And
kind of put things out there the way they are. Yeah.
and Allie Carter, I want to thank you for the video, and we will go ahead and start her up. Maybe if Brenda can figure it out.
You in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. All right? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. We tried to back up. We've tried to tell you everything that we can, and now we have people messaging us, investigators, people that want to talk now, when now it's because it's trending. We're still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering their asses. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual orgies. And one of those children were me. Bullshit. You see all the people running? They're ducking and hiding because everybody knows that there was children there. But we're still not talking about the kids yet. When are we going to talk about the kids? Everybody's demanding something from the victims. Why aren't you demanding it from the news? You know he's about to turn into another Epstein, and then the list follows and it circles back into a web. So why isn't anybody demanding any information on the kids? Do you think that thousands of bottles worth of baby oil was for thousands of who? $65,000 worth of hot dogs and pizza was for who? Trafficking over the border was for who? Child Protective Services is your supplier. You in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy.
So,
P. Diddy.
so now we all know that a lot of the Child Protective Services is not a good thing. Okay. In some cases, your children go and they say that they were adopted out to other people. Are they? Really? This is stuff that I am hoping can get fixed. People like Allie, people like me, people like a lot of others who are abused by people of power. Where do you go? Where do you go? 10 years of therapy I went through over Bush. And how do you tell a therapist back in those days what somebody like that did to you when you were a kid? It is horrible. It is heart-wrenching. But we do survive. And when we survive, we get strong. This stuff that happens to us when we are kids makes us the people that we are today. I have no problem outing. I have no problem saying that I feel that there should be some kind of justice. Now, mine has passed away, but I'm going to bet his justice came in a different way. It is something that this country has got a major problem with. Well, not only this country, I'm going to say all over the world, because it's not just this country. It's every country. They have this network of 1% of the people in this network that is a multi-billion-dollar network for them. And they don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they traumatize at all. And it's so easy for everybody to say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. You know, when I hear that, it makes me sick to my stomach. Because I was there. Just like Allie. Not P. Diddy for me. Because, no. But.
Well, and Brenda, I told you I have a good friend who, her and her mother went to work for the pharmaceutical company that in San Antonio that was owned by the Bushes.
Yep.
And her mother was selling her to Bush Senior, and he was coming and picking her up. And when she was young, she was about 4, okay? And she said that when Bush Senior got done with her, um, she had to go home, and her mom had to clean her bum when he got done with her and her brother. And and she said, who do you go to when who do you go to when when the
Yeah.
top person in the whole country
Yep.
is the one hurting you? Who do you tell? There is nobody higher than that, right? So, and how do you reach out for help for that? And where do you go? That's a pretty scary thing when the top of the top is corrupted, you know, you don't trust anybody. You couldn't trust
Right.
anybody, right?
Right. And you grow up like that, you know. And then when you grow up and you want to trust your family, and it is your family doing this, you know, like your friend's mom selling her, you know, you
Yeah.
can't even go to your
They were
family.
from Puerto Rico and they went to work there and you know,
So it
yeah,
is a
she's a Christian now and she's reached out to a lot of different churches, but it's like nobody really understands, what she's been through or it's Brenda,
oh, I do.
it's
To say
there's
I
no way you
do.
could describe what you've been through. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's terrible.
Yes. And
It's terrible.
we have a very serious problem around the world. Worldwide, we have a very serious problem. And the bad thing about it
It's
is
called
there's not a,
Satanism.
yeah, yeah. And the bad thing about it is there is not enough good people to be able to take care of this. So it takes people like us to be brave enough to step up to the plate and try to help, because there is nothing that is worse than growing up like this. Um, I, for years when I was younger, I had nightmares of this over, and it was repeatedly over and over and over again. And it wasn't until I got older and learned how to take care of my own self-conscious and fix that they stopped, you know. So I am glad that I got to that place, because it makes you set your mind straight when you can stop having those nightmares. So I understand how a lot of people unalive themselves, because this stuff eats them up. It'll eat your soul. It is that bad.
That's scary.
And it
Yeah.
it is. It is. And it's horrible. And when you've got kids that are, 6 and 7 years old talking about they don't want to be in this world anymore, you need to really investigate that and find out why, because more than likely they have been made to feel like a lesser person because of things that they have been through. And there is something going on that is not just a kid saying that for no reason. Little kids don't think like that. They think about going outside and riding their
You
bikes and
know,
playing in the dirt and eating mud. So,
Brenda,
what
one of the things I wanted to say that Brenda, is, and I don't care if anybody listening doesn't like Trump. I like Trump. Okay. So, whatever. You
I
can
think we
just
have
sit
a
on it,
good,
if you
I
don't
think we
like
have
him.
a good caring here.
But you're going to have people if it doesn't matter to me. But what I want to say about Trump is that General Flynn, I think, he recently did a movie or something too, and people don't know who General Flynn is. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people don't know certain names, because they don't follow that stuff, right?
Right.
But General Flynn, um, he he's had a lot of didn't he worked under Trump before? Yes, he worked under Trump's
Yes.
office before. And here's the thing about General Flynn. General Flynn, well, he's actually related to Trump, but General Flynn actually had worked, because back in the day, okay, the head of the CIA, John Brennan or whatever, who Trump and him do not get along at all, by the way, is he's a Satanist, okay? He worked with Michael Aquino, who's a head of the Church of Satanist, passed away, gone now,
We think.
whatever. But well, people go, "Oh, he might be still alive." No, dude, he's dead,
Well,
dead, dead.
he might have
Get it?
scurried back
Dead.
in as a lizard or something.
Yeah, yeah, Mr. Reptile, whatever. But
Yeah.
Okay, the body he was in recently, it went no more. Okay, so he's out. But here's the thing: General Flynn reported to Trump and told him everything he knew about working under Michael Aquino and working under John Brennan, head of CIA,
Yep. Yep.
Satanist, right?
Yep.
So, um, yeah. So guess what? Trump is very well informed now. Trump knows who's who, what's what, where's where. So, I would just say everybody just pray for Trump to be able to take care of the business that he needs to take care of, because now he knows a lot more than he knew before. Okay? Like when he first went in, you know, it it was
He,
he
he,
learned a lot, I think.
I think, yeah, and I think that he kind of when he stepped into that position the first time, he was semi aware of a lot of different things. Matter of fact, I can honestly say that I know for a fact he was aware. Um, you cannot fix decades and decades and decades of wrongdoing in 4 years.
And you need
You can't.
evidence. Okay? Whether when you do things by the law, you got to have evidence. And
That's
when
right.
evidence has been destroyed and burned, buildings have been taken down, and people know about these stories. Buildings have been burned and
Yeah.
evidences have been removed and taken away. So, you got to start from scratch. So you have to build things and go back and. So it's not as easy as people think it is, to run a nation. I mean, there's a lot involved here, a lot of people involved, a lot of stuff involved. So, but I think he's got some good people, got some good key people that are going to help him, and
And
I'm hoping,
and I want to
God
and
on
I
our
want to
side, and God
right.
bring justice, right?
And
Yeah.
yes, and I want to say that one of the reasons why, and Norma, I know you know this, Denise, I know he is under such fire because every politician that walks into the White House to become president, you think that they are the ones that run your nation. They do not. There are people above them. Well, what set Trump aside from everybody else is he was a businessman. He was not a politician. And he refused, because that's just how Trump is. He refused to take orders from anybody else. He was put in charge to run this country, and that was the way he was going to do it. And he did it like a businessman. Okay? That needs to happen because this country has been run by false politicians for so many decades and have been told what they can, what they can't say, what to put out, what they shouldn't put out, who they're going to listen to, who they shouldn't listen to. And more than likely, it's always we the people that they are not supposed to listen to. He thinks that's wrong. And you know what? I agree. He believes that we should be able to govern ourselves. And you know what? Most of us agree. So that is what has put him under such fire. That's why they go and well, CGI shit with his voice and make him say things that he doesn't say. Now, it does work both ways. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't, because it does. It works both ways. But, however, the man behind this man has never been one to take orders from somebody else. He has built his empire and built it well. And he did it without anybody else telling him what to do. So they are against him because of that. He is for this country, so they are against him because of that. Because people, I really hate to bring it to you, but our politicians over the decades have been wanting to turn America into a third world country. And the best way they can do that, number one, take away our Second Amendment. Take them suckers away. So every time we have a school shooting, every time, and I want you to listen to what I'm going to say. Every time we have something where somebody goes that ape shit crazy and gets out on the road and starts just shooting at people, what is the first thing that the politicians say? We need more gun control. That is why that happens, people. And our government doesn't care who dies in the process, whether it's people, whether it's children. They don't care. They do not care about us. That song that Michael Jackson did, they don't really care about us. That's what he was telling us.
Right.
Because he knew. They don't care. So when all this happens and we get those people that sit there and say, oh yeah, it's because these people have guns. No, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Okay? And in all of this steps the MK Ultra, steps the whole mind control of, you need to do this because this person is bad. Do this, do this, do this. People do not realize, a lot of people don't realize. Once you're awake, you can never unsee this. Okay? I went back into all of the old cartoons, Mickey Mouse cartoons, all of those old cartoons that I used to watch, and I rewatched them being awake now. And the crap I seen in these, I think to myself, wow, I never looked at it like that. Their perversion. Pinocchio, when they talk about the island for the bad kids. You know, I'm telling you, the perversion in this country has been here for so long, and it has been pulled over everybody's eyes like nothing. People laugh at it. Oh, it's just a cartoon. No, it is not. Shit nutty, it is the truth. And they put it in plain sight because they have to. Because they feel that if they put it in plain sight, their karma will not come around to them. So this is why they do it. It's in movies, it's in cartoons, it's in commercials, it's in the sports games, people. I really hate to tell you this, Andy. Sports, everything is scripted to fit a narrative. Every single thing. When we say you need to wake up and come out of the matrix, we're not saying that we're living in this digital world that's behind us. No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is wake up from the freaking illusion that the government and the peoples and the powers to be have created for us. They have done this, and they're very good at it. Very good. And a lot of us haven't seen it. There has been others in the past before they did resets. And by the time they did this, these people were old and in a nursing home. And you know what? It didn't dawn on me when I used to listen to their stories that they would say, this stuff has all happened before. Some people figure it out. But by the time they're too old to do anything about it, well, they've done reset everything, and people grow up thinking, oh, that didn't happen. Well, the problem with it is this time around is a lot of us found out about it young enough to be able to say, no. There's too many of us that know now. And it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be taken care of. And our children need to be protected from these morons. I'm just going to say it like that because it's horrible. No little kid should ever grow up knowing anything of a sexual perversion as young as they are now. 9 and 10-year-olds that know more about sex than I do. Okay? Why is that? Why is that? That should not be their major study. Their major study should be math, science, history. Not worried about what I should call my teacher. Am I using the proper pronouns? These kids are going to grow up absolutely stupid and not know anything at all. They're not going to be able to hold normal jobs because they're not going to know. They aren't going to be able to do simple addition because they're not being taught this. Put God back in the schools. Put the Pledge of Allegiance back in the schools. Get rid of all the rest of this stupid junk. It's useless. It doesn't matter. And they're making our kids stupid. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I don't care really who I piss off. I'm speaking the truth. And that is the truth. Our kids don't need to learn pronouns. They need to learn how to spell Mississippi. Our kids don't need to learn pronouns. They need to learn how to add and subtract and timetables and all that stuff. That's what our kids need to learn. And it irritates the crap out of me, any parent that supports this stupidity. I don't think their kids should go to child services. I think their kids should just be adopted to people that have freaking brains. Sorry. Not sorry. That's my opinion. Okay? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and that's mine. Go ahead, Susie. Let them have it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about when you were talking about the school thing and and how things have changed. I was thinking about Madeline Murray O'Hara from Austin, Texas, and um, one day God told me to tell her that He loved her, and I called the atheist center down the road, and I was like, "Oh God," and some guy answers, and I said, "God told me to say that He loves her," because she's the one that took God out of the schools. Okay, she's the one that said, we can't talk about God in the school, and I mean, is that was like the worst thing that ever. I mean, seriously, can't talk about God. Give me a break. Um, so this is why I said, you know what, if God is not allowed in the school, none of my children will ever go in a building where God has got kicked out of.
There you
Sorry.
go. There you
So
go.
my son has never been in a school. He's 21, never been in a school in his life. My daughter was never homeschooled, a private school, Christian, whatever, but never a public school where God was kicked out. Because if you kick God out, I'm not going in that building. Hell no. Hell to
Now,
that no. No.
you know why this was done, right? By taking God out of the schools, it leads way for people to not believe, to grow up not knowing. I have a daughter that says she doesn't believe in God. She doesn't believe in the devil. When we die, that's it. It's just over. Okay? She was taught that in schools because school did not keep that there. Because I tried. I would take her to church. I would, it's not that some people don't try. Okay? I have friends that don't know what to think about the whole God Jesus thing. Okay? People, everybody has to have some goodness to believe in. We got here somehow. I do not think we were evolved from monkeys. Some people were.
Well, then
Clearly,
monkeys
all of
came
us.
from somewhere too. I mean,
Yeah,
everything came from something somewhere.
everything
You
came
know,
from a
you gotta have a
creator.
starting point.
That's right. So everything came from a creator. People ask me, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Whichever one that the creator
Who
made first.
cares?
That's my answer. Whichever one the creator
Right.
made first. You can't have the egg if you don't have the chicken. You can't have the chicken if you don't have the
It's
egg.
just
Well,
a
guess what?
stupid thing to ask anyway.
It
If
is.
that's
It
what
is
your
the
whole
dumbest thing.
thing is a chicken and an egg,
Right.
you better find another
Exactly.
career or something. I don't
But
know.
they did that on purpose so that God could be taken out of things to make it easier to slip that Satanism in there. To be easier to slip
Now, I
that.
do want to say, I do want to say, I want to finish up the thing about Madeline O'Hara. I
Okay,
want,
go ahead.
for the people who know or don't know, I did try to let her know that God loved her, and I'm sure she probably blew that one off and everything. But it wasn't too much longer. A couple guys went in there with their guns, kidnapped her and her son, the one that I called, and took them out in the field and cut them up in hundreds of pieces in the field, and that's how Madeline O'Hara ended up with her atheist son. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know, but it was a pretty tragic, pretty bad situation. A lot of people thought she ran away to out of another country. You should have heard the conspiracy theories. Oh, she took all
Oh
their money
yeah.
and she ran away with the atheist center, blah blah blah, until they
Yep.
found her body and everything, and they caught the guys. And
Yep.
but she does have another son who's a born again Christian who, you know, so what can I say? But that was pretty horrific what happened to that woman. I
I
will say that.
remember that. I remember that story when it happened. And yes, they were saying,
Hmm.
"Oh, she took all the money. She made all this money from us." And there was people that were in the bookkeeping in the church that said, "Well, all this money disappeared and they ran off with it and they're probably living in Mexico, living it up."
Yeah,
Sometimes, I mean, it's like all
a lot of
this,
stories.
even TD Jakes. I'm not going to justify anything that man did, because you know what? Him, Diddy, regardless of whether they're there because they're plants to be able to collect dirt on people, they're still not innocent. Don't get me wrong. They are not innocent. Matter of fact, they're just as guilty because they bring it on. But there is a reason why things happen in everything. And jumping to the last conclusion is just jumping to conclusions is actually something that you should do one on one with a friend and not put it out
Yeah.
there. Okay, just saying. Because
until you
sometimes,
have until you have some kind of you know positive proof or evidence, and we will
right?
be in the next hour. We will be discussing
Yes,
somebody who we are going to be bringing some things to the table as evidence of what we're backing what we're saying. Um, yeah.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. After we take our break, we will be coming back, and we will be showing. Susie's going to do Susie's story time,
Probably some
and
pretty shocking things. Yeah, pretty shocking
she's
things, I
going to
think.
be reading some stuff, and we're going to be showing them and putting them out because, well, once again, we are again under fire, and finding out what we found out just fueled me a little bit more. I try to stay as humble as possible, and I am humble, but you know, you can do whatever you want to me, but you try to kill my little dog, and you better hope I never find you. That's just the way that has to work, because the situation that I'm in with myself, that dog right now, and God, is my life and my saving grace. That dog is like my child. And when I was a young mother, if you messed with my child, I'd have ripped you. I did it when I was older. Went to go shoot pool with her,
Yeah.
and some Hispanic guy bowed up on my kid. And I took a pool stick and said, why don't you go outside and fight with somebody that'll fight back? You bow up to my kid again, and I swear I will knock you sideways. And I mean, I am one of those mother hens that I get very, very angry if you mess with mine. I will tear you up like it's nobody's business and be telling God bless you on the way as I'm ripping your hide off, because you don't mess with my kid. Suzy's the same way. We are mother hens. And with all of this happening, with all of these kids, they're not our kids, but you know what? They're kids, and they need help.
They're God's
So,
kids.
that's right. They are God's kids. They are his, I don't want to say his weakness, because I don't think God has any weaknesses. They're his glory. They are his glory. He created them, and they are his glory. And they get harmed because people try to harm God. And that is one way that they think that it gets to him. But it angers him. And karma is a bitch. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our 5-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what karma bitching is about. Mine and Suzy's feathers have been ruffled, people. They have been ruffled.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, right? We're tired. We're tired. We're fighting back. We have let it go long enough, and we are standing up for ourselves. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we will be right back. Please stick around. It's going to be fun time in the old corral.
I'm going to grab me a cup of coffee.
Why not? I already had mine. It got a little cold on me, so, you know.
Iced coffee.
Well, if I want, but it doesn't have any ice in it, Suzy. Doesn't have any ice. It's got to have ice in it. Maybe a little whipped cream on top.
There you go.
I don't know. So we will be right back, guys. Hang out. Hello. All right. Yes, Norma, I'm
Howdy.
doing it. The gloves are off. I'm going to start this by
Uh-oh.
saying exactly this. I am going to go on a small rant. Somebody throw something at me if I'm not doing well. Penny L.A. Shepherd, you have done nothing but manipulate a lot of people, and it makes me sick. You manipulate them for money. You manipulate them on your show. You have discredited people from the programs that you supposedly support. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And I invite you on my show to face Susie and I if you think we are wrong. Now, you also have this really bad habit of jealousy and turning people against people, like you did with Tom Althouse and Brian saying. You turned around and pulled them away, making them think that Susie and I are no good, we're crazy, we're on drugs, we're doing this. You know what, lady? Let me tell you something. The only person that is sick in the head in all of this is you. You have a serious problem. You are a liar. You are a cheat. You are scandalous. And I am here to tell you that you don't belong in any of these programs. And anybody that supports you, I feel sorry for them because you are absolutely evil, woman. Do you understand me? You are evil. Evil. And when I'm done, I'm going to find somebody to send this show to David Zublik. Okay? You are all sorts of wrong. You have damaged people in the communities that you supposedly support. And that is wrong. You talk about people and then, oh, here, let me say this one. Jim Scott, after he was on the show, I've heard you say all kinds of horrible things about him. Oh, well, and he won't answer my calls to come back on the show because I'm pretty sure you got to him. Because he was just fine messaging back and forth with me until all this happened. Scandalous, woman. Let me tell you, scandalous. I was so proud of Susie because Nadine went to Susie and said, should I go do Penny's show? Susie could have went off saying, oh no, God, don't do. But no, this is what Susie said. It's not about Penny and it's not about me. It's about those people that need help in North Carolina. Yes, by all means, go do it. I feel the same way. Doesn't have anything to do with that. But I'm pretty sure you would find a scandalous way to discredit us like you have been. I can't get Brian to come on the show anymore because, well, I'm pretty sure you told him and probably Althouse, if you go and do that show, you can't do mine. I'm pretty sure you did that. I would almost bet you did. So that's okay. Take your little followers. Take your little sheep, shepherd, and protect them because you're just going to eat them later, just like you did Susie and I. Now, Susie has decided that instead of us talking shit, we're going to bring it to the table. Look at that smile on Susie's face. Isn't that awesome when she smiles? It's like sweet godliness right there. Now, Susie, you can talk while I go ahead and start bringing some of these up.
The first one I sent you, because I'm scrolling, start at the top, and then I can look at it on my page, and then you can show it, and I can read that part that I want. So everybody knows that there was Penny kept Penny kept a log of everything in her life, and she, in her research and in her diary, and so she had thrown all these books away when she moved out, when she left all her stuff behind when she left, and there was about 100 books in there, and so this is some of her journal, her books, her writing, her story.
Yeah. I'm what the heck?
So that first one, Brenda, that I sent you, that
Yep.
you probably have
I'm
to go
getting
back to
it.
the first one,
I'm
where
pulling it up.
she's saying what she asked for. Of course, we'll get to who she's asking. She in this what we're going to explain is she explains who her God is, and then what she's asking her God for, and it'll all be. We'll show you it. We'll show all this to you.
Right. I'm just setting it up because I have to pull it from my I have to.
There was three
Oh,
things
what
that
did
she
I
asked
just do?
for. Did you find it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
you're trying
got
to
it.
set
I
it up.
just got to fix my screen because I did something. I pushed a button. You know how that works. Brenda pushes a button and everything goes
Right.
crap. Oh, come on now. Fix yourself. Stop being like this.
But
Okay.
what better way than from somebody's
Oh,
own
if this ain't crap.
journal? It's like, reading, like, Anne Frank's diary. This is like Penny Shepherd's diary.
It is. Hang on, guys. I have done half to my screen. Can you believe this? Okay. Do not ask me what I just did. Where is Steve when I need him?
Norma says, I want to hear who she really is. I know.
Well, if Brenda can fix her crap here, because I have made all of us small. Okay, let me just do it this way. It doesn't matter because I've made us small and it's all right. I want to slides. Nope. Let's see.
It
Let's
might
bring
be
this
a
up.
little bit,
And then I'm going to go to, what is this video audio thing? That's not what I want. Background audio, video, nope. It's not what I want. There we go. I found it. Share, do this. And then, oh, come on. I've got it cut off where it won't let me do it. Crap. I have it set up waiting. Oh, come on.
brought the video up earlier. Can you just bring the picture? You can't bring the pictures up?
I'm right now, my screen went to half and I can't get it to fix itself. That's what I'm trying to do. Let me see. That's not that one.
Screen went to half.
Yes. It's really hilarious, actually. I mean, not really, but I don't know what I pushed. I was bringing it up, and then all of a sudden, it decided to go somewhere, and it started being silly. So right now, I'm trying to fix that. Oh, and I'm pushing all kinds of freaking buttons. And well, there's the full screen right there. How come I can't get full screen any other time?
I could actually show it. I don't know if you can see that.
Well, I have to bring it in, even if you do show it. I have it blown up, but for some reason, it's not letting me. It's not allowing me to share the screen because it's half of it's chopped off. I'm trying to hit the. Here it is, that attack thing again. All right.
I'm telling you, it's been a spiritual attack,
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to.
The enemy does not want to be exposed.
No, absolutely not. Oh, this is upsetting to me.
It's all right. I hear you. It's been like that all day. It's just, I told you it was like a spiritual attack because I knew this was going to come. So,
Yeah, you and me both.
Right?
I can't. All right. Give me a minute. I'm going to go out and see if I can come back in. If I cannot, I'm going to restart the show, you guys, so you hit the notification.
Well, don't do
I'm gonna,
that.
well, I'm going to try this because I can't do nothing right now. I have everything sitting up and it's halved and I
Okay.
can't pull it down. So I'm hoping if I go
All
out
right.
and
Well,
I bring it back in, it'll work. So let me go ahead and do
okay.
that.
Let's try that.
Hang tight, everybody. Let's see.
All right. We're holding on there, Andy. Hang in. See if she can make it back in. We're still here. Oh, she coming back?
I don't know.
Great. Hopefully. Hopefully she didn't abandon us here.
Wouldn't be
We
the
gotta go
first
back
time.
in and go out. We have to go. We'll have to go out and come back, won't we?
Uh-huh. She'll have to send us another
How
link.
will we know? I mean, she'll have to.
If
If
we get
we get
cut off
another
the
link,
screen,
we'll
we'll
know.
know.
Oh.
Okay. Here we are.
There you are.
Did it
There
work?
we
There you
are.
are.
Did it
Yay.
Hey,
work?
hey.
Okay, everybody in the chat, are you
Yeah.
still there? Let's see. Oh, no, hang on. It didn't work.
What?
It says
What?
okay, wait, hang on. There it is. All right. Chat, let me know if there's
I think
somebody
it
still
worked.
there because it's showing 0, but it's still saying that we're live. So, what's going on?
Well, you didn't. We didn't get knocked off, so we stayed here. Okay. Norma says, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let
Okay.
me fix
I think we're all
this.
here.
We're all here.
We're all here, she said, Denise. Okay.
Woohoo! We're all here. I did it and didn't kill us.
Okay. Good
Okay.
job.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and share screen. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to, not that one, turn that one off. Go to bring that in and hit that. And then hit share. And then come back here. Now, bear with me. I'll be dipped in horse butt. All right, Susie. We're going to do it the other way. You go ahead
What is
and
that?
hit. Can you share
What's
it?
the other way?
Bring it up and share it. Can you hit share screen on your phone?
Can I hit share screen on my phone?
On
I
the
have never done this share
I
screen.
know. I'm going to talk you through it. On the very bottom, you'll see mute video, and then you'll see share screen, and it's a little picture of a computer.
I see mute, stop, more. So share stream link?
Wait a minute.
No.
Let me do this different. Hang on. Let me get rid of that. It just dawned on me. Hang on. I'm so stupid. People, when I tell you I am computer dumb, I ain't kidding. And then it'll dawn on me later and I'll be all like, hey, okay, so let's do this one now. I've got it, you guys. I got it. Share screen. I'm just not gonna be able to zoom in on it, Susie. So you're gonna have to kind of read it. Because I can't zoom
Read
in
it.
on
Okay.
it. That's the first one. So read it.
All right. So at the top of the page, probably, they could always go back and blow it up or, pause it and look at it if they want to. to look at this page.
Right.
But
Now
on this
these are
particular
straight,
page,
hang on, these are
Penny
straight
write.
out of, hang on, these are straight out of Penny's books. These is her writings and her words. So I just want to say that. Go ahead, Susie.
Right. So the part on this page that I wanted to read was what she asked for, 3 things. Number 1, I asked to go back to Area 51. Number 2, I asked to be with John. Number 3, I asked to rejoin the CIA. Yep. Okay.
So I need to go move on to the other one because the rest of it's like some kind of rubbish, or do you want to read that?
So that's who she is. She is a CIA flunky. Okay.
She
Apparently.
said CIA flunky.
All right.
More?
What?
Do I bring in more?
Okay, the next page, yeah, go ahead. The next page. There's more to that page, but that's the part that, Now this one was interesting because I did not understand what she was writing. But she talks about Barron Trump getting kidnapped here. Because one of the things she said that she was trained to assassinate Trump. That was her and she says that publicly many times on her shows. That
these were
she was MK Ultra and
these were 2016 books, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so I think. Well, I don't know. I think I had 2017, 18, and all the way to current books. I had up to the current.
Okay.
2024. So I'm not sure some of these books, but in this one, she's talking about Barron getting kidnapped or something, right? And she's dissecting some words or whatever. And then she said, I am the writer who does lots of research. Me, yes. Seriously, I killed the president of Venezuela. So she's making a claim that she killed the president of Venezuela. Maybe that's why she's always saying that she was an assassin, that she killed people, but then she couldn't remember who she killed. But she does say that publicly, that she has killed people. Okay. And she went down to Mexico and she wrote a song called To Kill Her, Tequila, to kill her, or something like that. She talks about that all the time. But she claims she doesn't know who she killed. But here she writes she, killed the president of Venezuela. That's what she writes anyway. I'm not saying that she did or didn't. I'm just saying that's what she said on her book.
All right, I'm on the next page.
Okay. Oh man, I just lost my page. Boy, am I having troubles now. Now you had it. Now I'm doing it. My turn. Okay. Give me. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, when you got to expose the devil, he's kicking and screaming and fighting and hollering the whole time, right? Shoot.
Right.
He don't go down easy. That's for dang sure. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so you showed 1 and then you showed 2, right? Okay.
Yep, this is the third one.
Third one?
Yep.
Are you on the third one?
Yep.
Okay. That one where I don't remember what was on this one why I sent it.
I don't know. I can't wait till you get to the.
Okay, yes. This is a letter from her brother. This is a letter from her brother Rob to her when she was in Illinois, because Penny got locked up in the crazy house for a year, in Illinois by her family. She says, allegedly they put her there, but she checked herself in, so maybe it's her. I don't know, right? So, but her brother Rob wrote her this letter, and she wrote, "Your buddy John was just in touch with us, John McEntee. He is pissed off, and he wants you to stop contacting him. No more emails, no more calls. He is ready to slap a restraining order on you in the state of Illinois. There are cyber stalking laws in effect as of January 2016. Unless you want to spend time in jail, I would seriously suggest you stop immediately. Because apparently she was stalking John, and that's, what that was about. So, next page.
Next page.
Now, this one is the interesting one.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, let's see, is that the right one? Okay. Now, here's where I had asked Penny who her God was, right? And she said God, GOD, stands for Government of Defense. And the Government of Defense is the CIA, she says. So she writes here, the CIA, aka God, Government of Defense. SAD, which is Special Activities Division. So this is who her God is. And she claims, well, we'll read it in her own words as we go on to the next page.
Now I want to
more
say that
about her
Norma
God.
pointed out and said the same thing I did when I read that one. I said, John is Brad Pitt.
Oh, John is
And
Brad
Norma
Pitt.
said the same thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what that was referencing? She was referencing a movie about Brad Pitt, or Brad Pitt in a movie was playing John, or so it was, that's how you can, characters in a movie, and then so she's relating John to that movie where Brad Pitt played him or something in a scene. So,
All right, next page.
yeah, it's pretty wild.
I know, right? I
Next
don't know.
page.
Next page.
Okay. Okay. So we went from the CIA is God. Okay. Okay. And then she writes, my God is a mighty God. Okay. And she writes her name is Anne McEntee, because her name is her real name is Penny Lou Ann Fortner. And so she changed her name to Shepherd. And but the Lou Ann, she references herself as Penny Lucifer, or Lou Ann means Lucifer, and she was, which I'll read that. I'll get to that part. But anyway, here she writes, my God is a mighty God. And the Government Office of Defense is John David McEntee, my God. So she says that John is her God, because he's the head of the Government Office of Defense. Okay. So, and then she goes, Yah, El, or Elohim, like God. So DOG is the Defense Office of the Government, either way. Okay. And then she writes some other weird stuff, but that's basically, she's saying that this man is her God, and that's who she serves. That's who she's, whatever, calling God. Okay. All right. Next.
Let's get the next.
Okay. Next. Okay.
Ooh.
I think this one is oh, here there's the part I wanted to read. There's a lot of stuff in there. But she writes in here, I love my family, the New World Order. So, there you have it. The New World Order. What? I mean, come on. All right. So your God, your New World Order, you're okay. Clearly there's some brain cells here that aren't connecting. Okay.
Brain cells that aren't connecting. Susie, you're so funny. Okay. Go.
All right. Now here's where she writes, Lucifer Ann McEntee, Penny, and she writes her name as Lucifer Ann McEntee. Her name is Penny McEntee. She claims, because she writes her name as Penny Shepherd McEntee, Penny Luann, or Lucifer. She writes her, but she puts Lucifer as her first name, Lucifer Ann McEntee, Penny. McEntee. Okay, so she would write her name, on some of these pages over and over again, and then put Lucifer in front of that. Okay, next page.
I'm waiting for my favorite page. This one might be it.
You have a favorite? I don't
I
know.
do.
This one's kind of this one says that she writes, Satan says, serve in heaven, Penny, or reign in hell. Is that your favorite? No.
No, not that one. The one that's my favorite is the one with the hooves. You ready for the next one? The one with the hooves.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready for the next one.
Okay, it's up there.
Okay, this one says, Penny, our world fight, love Lucifer, eternally Satan. I say, now whose side is she on? Which God is she claiming is her God? She's written it over and over again in here, people. Don't be
All right,
fooled.
we're on the last one, I think.
Okay. All right. Oh, you like this one. You want to read it? Go ahead, you read it.
No, I can't see the freaking thing. That's the one.
Oh my God. Okay.
Go.
Yes. So here's what she writes. I asked, do I marry Satan with hooves? They said, Satan? They said, Satan the animal? Okay, then. What the fuck? The dragon I wrote about, Albert the dragon. So she wants to know if she's supposed to marry Satan with the hooves.
Does Satan come any other way?
Oh my God.
I mean, does he come any other way?
Man.
I mean, really, does
He
come
comes
any
with
other
hooves
way?
and Baphomet horns and everything like that. So
Right.
I mean, she's prepared, man. She's ready for the hoofy dude. I mean,
So
she's got hoof and mouth disease.
Right. So I'm going to make this statement, okay? For all of those that left the show, she tried to get to Tommy. Tommy stayed with me and Susie. We love Tommy to death. She blindsided him, and it was not right, Penny. It was not right. What you did was not right. She basically has kind of turned Alt House against us. He won't even speak to us. A mano a mano.
Well, Penny, look. You know what? Here's my take on it, Brenda. If they want to stay on her side, now they know. Now they can't. You can't unknow what we just told you. You can't unsee what we just showed you. So now you know who she is, where she stands, who she serves, who her God is, and if you want to stay with her, then we know who you are too. Yeah.
And I mean,
that's all I got to say about that.
So in all actuality, here it is. We have heard so much stuff. It has been so bad against us. Susie and I, we take it with a great salt, and we just go on, okay? And we go on. But it's heavy on our hearts because we trusted her. Susie let her live there for 6.5 years, okay? Took care of her. All of this stuff. I trusted her. I gave her all of my passwords and my everything, and I thought she was my friend. This woman really did hurt us. Okay, she hurt us bad.
Loki, who is Lucifer. Think about what he was called, the trickster god. He was a good trickster, what does a good trickster do? He pretends he's your friend, he's on your side, he cares about you, but all the time, he is not your friend.
Plotting against you.
And she is 100% a Luciferian. 199.9999 thousand millions. A Luciferian.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
And I feel like this. Okay, Susie, if she can do this stuff to you, I'm not even going to throw me in it because I didn't know her as long. But if she can do this stuff to you, treat me like she did. What is she going to do to Tom when she's done with him? What's she going to do to Brian when she's done with him? I know a lot of people that have been on her show that she doesn't have come back on that have come to Suzy and I telling us that she has said this and this and this about them. She had Allie on her show. What did she say about Allie to you there, Suzy?
That she was making up stories, that it wasn't true, it was not real, stuff like that.
Out of everybody that's coming forward and telling stories, Allie is the one that's telling the truth. Okay? Allie Carter, if you can hear me, we would love to have you on our show. There would be no judgment. There would be no talk behind your back, honey. We know what you need to do. People have done you wrong.
We're not Luciferians, okay?
That's right. And trust
Not
me, I know
Luciferians.
how important it is.
We don't like the guy with the hooves, okay? We don't have nothing to do with the hoofy dude.
But we, trust me, if anybody knows how hard it is to come out and tell their story about what has happened to them, it's me. You know, Suzy has had things that she has told that has to do with her story. And it's hard to get it out. And we understand that. It is very hard. And it's okay. And it's okay to be a little bit frightened of some of these people because there is things that are beyond our control. Higher power that is beyond our control. That, you know, we have to fight with every day. You know, it happens to all of us. And the knocks on the doors in the middle of the night, the just...
There is a spiritual war going on between good and evil, Brenda, and it is no joke.
I hear everybody say,
you know,
oh God, Trump's going to put us in World War III. People, we've been in World War III. World War III is an information
I think
war.
Israel already been.
It is a spiritual
people left and right.
Right. It is a spiritual and an informational war. That is what it is. We have been in it. It's been going on. It's been behind the scenes. The news is not putting crap out because, well, we lie to you news.
No, they do put they put out crap. That's what they do put out. They put out crap.
Like I said, they don't even report news anymore. They go to the office every day. They wait for that fax machine to come on. That fax machine spits out a paper that tells them what they're supposed to talk about that day and how they're supposed to put it out. That's what they do. That's what they do.
And another thing about Penny, Brenda, is what I thought about is I don't think Penny ever went to a Christian church until after she met John. And you know, she'd say, "Oh, Suzy, I'm like you. I used to carry my Bible, and you know, I actually when in 1978, I still have the Bible that my mom gave me in 1978, and that Bible in 1978, I was on the front page of the Jacksonville paper carrying my Bible down the street to the courthouse. Then I went there to testify for somebody that I cared about that was set up." You know, a really good man and his children. And Penny claims that she says, I was like you. I carried my Bible. No, she only got a Bible, I think, after she met John and he was going to church. And then she told me she threw that Bible in the trash can or something. I don't know, something like that. But, you know, and then every time she mentioned a church, she would say, I saw a rendering of John in the church, or I saw this in the church. And I went up to Prayer Mountain and I saw all these, I saw World War III and I saw this and I saw that. That's her whole everything. That's it. That's her whole experience. You know, yeah. Well, what do you do when you're a CIA agent who is a Luciferian who wants to marry the hoofy dude?
Well, and Norma, I think you hit the nail on the head. I said that to Suzy last night. Did I not say that, Suzy? I said, what is she trying to be like you? Norma says, Shepard has
Yeah.
been trying to steal your identity, Susie. I said that. What did I say last night? What was she going to do? Step in there and
Yes.
get rid of all of you and just take over your property? And, you know,
Yeah.
this has been ongoing, and we are hoping that we never have to do this again. But we're tired. We're tired. We have done nothing wrong. We have been good people. We've had our guest on. We don't say anything about our guest. You know, everybody has a story to tell. We're here to hear it. We don't go around calling them liars. We don't call. No, 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 no. If there's somebody that comes on here that we don't particularly agree with what they say, I just don't have them come back. We don't go to people and say crap behind their backs. I mean, it's not. We have to stay neutral as people that put out these type of shows. We have to stay neutral
I
with
say when I tell
everybody.
you something, or when I talk about you, I tell you to your face, and if what I say to one person about somebody, I will say to their face.
Yes,
So what I say to you, Brenda, about Penny, I would say to her face. That's why I'm public and I'm saying it to her face. This is
yes,
who you are, and I know who you are, and you're a bad person. You're never a good person. You are always deceiving and using trickery, and so that's who you are. Okay, so
yes.
not my
And
friend on any
making
level or ever will be. Yeah.
right. And making fake accounts and coming on and talking shit in our group doesn't work either. Because you know what? We can just keep hitting that block button. I've got Denise and Julie out there just with that finger ready to go, you know? So we've just
But
had
think
enough.
about
We
where
have
she's at,
been,
Brenda. She's on a platform, okay, where she can she can it's like controlled opposition. She could discredit so many people, and she does through the media that she's working with, okay? Which is really scary knowing what she believes and who her God is, okay? So knowing who she is and who's behind her and what's driving her and and the way that she talks about people and the way that she puts um, bad light on certain people that need to be looked at in a different way, okay, is pretty scary, okay. But
and
that's how these Hollywood people and certain people get that platform, and then they start that, right?
and now I'm going to tell you guys something, and this is from my opinion and Susie's opinion. This is our opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So we got to talking about when I was sick. Y'all remember when I got really, really sick and I almost died? So we started looking around at some things. Okay. And did you know that if you slowly put rat poison in somebody's food or drink, it takes 3 to 5 days before it attacks their organs? And I know where I was 3 to 5 days before I got really sick. And so we sat there and we figured this out. We looked it up. What does it do to a dog? Loss of appetite, vomiting, seizures. My dog had 3 seizures while I was there. Yes, Norma Putin. 3 seizures while I was at Suzy's. What does it do to a grown person? It can attack your organs, swell your organs, loss
Because
of
Brenda,
appetite.
you stayed in the house pretty much alone with Penny while I was in my house, and she brought you food to your room, didn't she?
Yes.
Hand fed
And
you, yes.
made and brought
Just
coffee.
saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, when I got home, it took a few days. I started having problems with my stomach really, really bad. really, really bad. And I had made an appointment for that following Saturday morning to go and have a sonogram on, they were going to go and check my stomach. And that Friday before the show, I ended up in the hospital. And my gallbladder, my liver, my pancreas, my kidneys, my bladder itself, my spleen, every organ in my abdominal region was 3 times the size that it should have been. And they had no idea why. No idea why. And they basically told me that I needed to prepare myself because they really thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. Until I had that visitor that came into my room that night. And she told me that the person that did this to me tried to kill me. But it wasn't going to work. So, I will tell you that I have all the reason in the world to hate that woman. But I don't hate. I don't like to hate. Hate is a very ugly thing. Never trust, dislike. Okay. But at any given time, Penny L.A. Shepherd, if you would like to come on to this show to talk about this stuff, if you think that we are wrong, and you think that we have the wrong things, and we're not showing the right evidence, bring it, bitch. Bring it. Come on. Because I've had enough. Suzy and I have been exceptional. When this stuff first happened, we didn't open our mouth and say nothing. But you got to everybody else. We had a hard time getting people on our show. People that we really liked and loved to bring back. But we can't get them. Because you have spewed so much with your evil tongue in their ear that they won't come anywhere near us. And you know what? That's okay. Because I have found really good people that will come. And we like them. We have some awesome people that come on our show. You want to keep Tom Althouse? Tom, honey, I'm so sorry if she does anything when she gets done with you. I hope that you move on and you continue your work with pride. Okay? Because I'm just telling you, it's going to happen. Tigers never change their stripes. They do not. Evil never gives up. So, in that aspect, I am just also, I'm going to say this too, because I don't know where to extend that or not, but I watched David Zublik for a long time before Suzy ever went, or before Penny ever went on there, okay? And when I first lost my leg, I used to turn him on and watch him because it was so interesting to me, and it took my mind off of the troubles that I had. All I can say is that I hope he's careful too, because Suzy's right. The trickster always becomes their friend. They gain our trust. And then one day it just erupts. It erupts. Whether it's a misunderstanding, which I think that the misunderstanding that happened with us in the beginning, Suzy, I really think that that was a reason. That was a reason because what she tried the first time didn't work. So I think that was a reason to try to put that wedge and separate us. Okay.
Mhm.
It was that aha moment that hit her head. Aha. So everybody out there that has listened to what she says about us, we are not the cray crays. We are not on drugs.
No.
The manipulation that was done to us was downright evil, wicked, unnecessary, period. So,
Yeah. I
um,
didn't know I had a Luciferian living in my house. Just, I do now after reading her books.
yeah, kind of makes you wonder sometimes. I mean, it's like I said,
She's pretty
Susie, I
good.
was told,
She's a good actress. I'll give it that.
oh, she is.
She's good at acting, playing a part. Yeah.
Everything, yes,
She's really
every
good.
everything that she went to school for to
Life is
learn,
a
she
stage,
uses
she
it.
says.
Yes, everything's yes.
She's acting this on the stage.
She's a
Mhm.
very good actress.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very cunning.
Everything's pretend. She pretends. Yeah, she's pretending to be somebody that she's not.
Yeah, because she definitely pretended to be our friend and she was not.
Right.
And we've heard we've been beat up, you guys. We have been beat up and we didn't deserve to be beat up. There was nothing that we did that we deserved to be beat up on. Okay? We
Norma,
didn't.
Norma said something about, um, you know, I will say one thing, and Brenda knows this.
Norma.
I always had this weird thing about Penny's cooking, and I would never eat her cooking. Okay, I'm just saying. She would make stuff, and you know, and I wouldn't eat it, because I just something said don't eat her food. I mean, she didn't wash dishes very well anyway. She just rinsed them, and everything was always dirty, nasty, and she would cook, and it was just horrible. And so she made all this food. I just I wouldn't. I'd eat my own food, you know. So I was
And
always worried,
she,
she was going to try to poison me. I'm just
right.
saying,
And she
I'm just
sat
saying
there.
that's I felt like that, you know.
And now I'm going to defend Putin. So she sat there and told Susie, I was there for a whole week. Nope, nope, nope. I was there 2 nights, and on the third day I left. After the second night, the only person that Putin barked at was Penny. If she didn't walk across the wooden floor like a sow cow and make all that frickin' noise, he wouldn't have barked at her. He didn't bark at Susie anymore. He didn't bark at Roger. Roger would come in the room and pet him. He didn't bark at Joel. The only one he barked at was her. And let me tell you, when she picked him up one day, the dog's eyes bulged out of his head and he side eye stared at me like, help me. His ears were down, the whole 9 yards. He did not like Penny. That's why he barked. And I was only there 2 nights and I left on the third day around noon, I think it was, Susie. So I wasn't there for a week, and it's probably a good thing because had I been there a week, Susie might have walked in and found me shoved in the cupboard and dead like the rats.
Jeez. How many days were you actually there? You were it poured and rained and lightning and the whole time you were here. I
Yes.
remember it was horrible weather.
I got there.
It
I
was a
got
total of how
there
many nights?
2 nights.
Like
2 nights.
okay, 2 nights.
I
Okay.
got there. I got there about, I don't know, what was it, 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Thank
four
God
o'clock
you
in the
weren't there
afternoon, the
longer
first day.
because and
Yeah.
you know what, Brenda, she kept telling you, come here, I need you to come
Yes.
here, huh?
And I had told her before that I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to make it, because for me to go somewhere overnight, guys, I have to take day and night meds with me. I have to make sure I have everything that I need. I have to make sure that the dog has everything he needs, food, his puppy pads, all that stuff, because I cannot take my dog out to Susie's and let him outside to use the bathroom, because her dogs will eat him. He will become a snack because he has Oedipus syndrome, so he
Scooby
would
snack.
automatically get, you know, uh, bitey with them and not want them around him. So my dog, luckily, he's small and he uses potty pads and he goes outside. So I had to make sure he had all his stuff. So I had said to her, I might not be able to come. She got mad. And she got mad. Well, that's not right. That's not fair. You said you were coming. So I went ahead and packed everything up and I went ahead and went. And it did. Had it not rained the whole entire time that I was out there, I would have been able to get out of my wheelchair and get my butt down the steps and have Roger carry my chair down, and I could have went over and spent time with Susie. I didn't have to be with her all the time in the house, but I was, because it rained the
Yeah, we
whole
were.
entire time.
It
And
poured and poured and poured.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then when I left the house, and I'm going to tell you, I spent the time, this is how uncomfortable I was. For some reason, when I left, when I go to somebody's house, I'm not armed. I'm armed if I go to the grocery store. I'm armed if I'm going other places. But when I go to somebody's house to stay there, I'm not armed. When I went to leave that day, for some reason, something told me, pick up your gun. So I took it with me. And when I got there and I unpacked all my stuff, I set it on the nightstand next to the bed. And the first time that she had come in there, she said, "Is that yours?" And I said, "Yeah." And I ended up, when I was sleeping, I locked the door. I never lock doors, but I locked that door. So, and I don't know why. So when Susie and I sat and we talked about this, about certain things that happened and we weren't sure why they happened, I think now they might have happened for a good reason. So it's one of those things. And then when I left, I no sooner left the driveway, got on the road, and all the power went out at their place. And it did not come back on. I came in the house and I messaged Penny and said, I just made it home. And she said, huh, the lights just came back on. I'm like, I didn't do that. It wasn't me. But there was just so
Now
much
she
wrong
fixed
with it.
you. She she fixed you some pizza, right? 2 times,
Yes.
and
And
she
I
said she was
gave,
going to make some pizza for you.
and see, Putin, for the most part,
But
I took chicken with me to boil for him. And I fed him his chicken, and I gave Lily chicken, that because I had a lot and Putin doesn't eat all that. So I would split it up between the dogs, and Lily had hers and I gave Putin some. But on that second night, I had taken an end piece of the pizza and gave him some of the cheese and some of the crust, and he had a bite. And about 2 hours later, I believe it was, he started having seizures. And he had thrown up just before that, foamy with yellow stuff in it. And I thought, oh, he's hungry. And then I'm thinking, no, he's not. He's been eating his dry food all day long. He can't be hungry. So then he had his seizures. And I found it kind of odd that he did, because the dog had just healed from being fixed, just had his checkup. He was completely healthy. The vet was amazed how healthy he was, considering the fact that he came all the way over here from Russia and had to stay in quarantine and all this other stuff. He was really surprised how healthy he was. So I went over there with a healthy puppy. Now, he's not had any seizures since we've been home. He livened up the minute we left the property. He started acting like himself. And I've had no problems with him since. What does that tell you? Anybody who knows animals, what does that tell you? So, in our opinion, yes, she tried to kill me. And my little dog, too. Well, didn't that come
And
from the
that
Wizard
is
of
our,
Oz?
that is not, that's an opinion, like you said,
Yes,
based
that is our
on,
opinion,
yeah,
based on the
yeah,
stuff that we have come up with. And it also said when
yeah.
Susie looked it up, they cannot detect rat poisoning in your bloodstream unless it has the blood clots. It'll accumulate in the blood clots. Now, I am on 2 blood thinners, one of them which is Xarelto, which makes it so that you can't have blood clots because I'm prone to them. Both of my lungs have filled with blood clots, so I cannot form blood clots. Whenever I have a surgery, I have to stop taking those for 3 days so that it can clot. So that's why when they got my blood work back, they couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. I go to Scott and White, people. We are 7th in the nation. It is a teaching hospital. It is where a lot of good doctors come from. If you go somewhere and nobody can figure out what's wrong with you, that's the hospital to go to, and they find it. And I completely had 6 different doctors so stumped on what happened to me, they were questioning their own education. Okay. So this was not normal. And, they were sending in priests to talk to me, apparently, and telling me, do you have life insurance? Really? So it was not a good thing. And regardless of whether it was some ho mojo witchcraft mumbo jumbo or at the hands of somebody, in our opinion, it happened. And I'm still not right. I'm still not right. I've not felt myself since I have come home. I'm still having little problems with my gallbladder. They are going to try taking it out. Thank God my liver is perfect. My pancreas has gone back to where it belongs. My kidneys
I've
are
had
straightened.
animals, Brenda. I've had animals that got ate the rat poison, and it ties up the vitamin K in your body. So if you supplement with a lot of vitamin K, that should help restore some problems.
Right.
There may be some damage that's irreversible, but just saying.
I've had a lot of problems with my hand shaking. And my doctor did some checking and said, well, it's not that you don't have like I think they were worried about that. Oh Lord, the thing that Michael J. Fox has, where he's real shaky all the time. Um, I don't have that. So something is wrong with my nervous system, which can be caused by poisonings. So um, this has been an ordeal that I
Been an
would not.
education.
Yeah, it's been that too. But what I've been through, I wouldn't even wish on my
We can
enemy.
laugh about it because why?
You
Because we
can.
know that our God is
Our
a
God.
bigger God than the one with the hooves. Yeah.
Yeah. Our God doesn't get paid by the government. Ah, there we go.
Right.
Our God is a mighty God. I don't care. I don't care who thinks so or not. But and works in very, very mysterious ways. Because I know that that night that Anna Mae came in there, the night before that was the night that I was laying there, and I said, Father, if I'm done, if I'm done doing the work that I need to do, that you sent me to do, I'm ready. Come and get me, please. Come and get me. I can't do this anymore. It has been so bad, so painful. And then the very next night is when that nurse walked into my room, who nobody knew, nobody seen her, and they had no idea who she was or what I was even talking about. So he works in very mysterious ways. And the next day, because they'd come in about 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning to take blood. And about 9 o'clock the next morning, the doctor comes in and looks at me and says, you know, I'm going to say this. And I said, okay. He said, I don't know what the hell you're doing, and I don't know what's going on. But everything that has been wrong with you is all starting to balance out on its own. Because mind you, they didn't know what was wrong. So the only thing they did for me was they kept me hydrated and they gave me pain medication. That was it. They couldn't do anything because they didn't know what was wrong. And then he let me come home. And just like that, that whole ordeal was over. And like I said, I still have effects from it. It's hard for me. I broke down about things that I haven't told anybody. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to really be normal again. Not like I was. So
You'll be normal.
it's hard.
You'll
Well, I
be
might as
there.
well.
You'll
Wait.
get
What did
there.
they say? I might as well be the new normal, because isn't that weirdness anyways? Don't people just say people are weird? Well, that's becoming normal, so just accept it. just,
As I say,
just
Roger, I just
accept
had a
it.
weird dream. He goes, it's not weird. It's
I know.
normal.
I know, right? That's what I feel. I had a weird dream. Oh, wait a minute. It wasn't weird. It had to have just been normal. Normal for
It's
me. I
normal.
mean,
It's becoming normal now. Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
It's
But
the new
yeah, they were
normal.
flushing my kidneys out. My kidneys are still, Jake, when he comes on
Roger
here, I
said,
know that,
oh, Norma says, how's Roger, Brenda?
yeah,
Roger's doing better. He's pretty much using his arm and his shoulders better, and but it was a pretty rough and tumble thing he went through, but he's doing a lot better.
yeah.
So he
And
was doing some stuff on the tractor today, and
yeah. And
he's still
Jake,
a
the
little
last
sore. We got to go to the chiropractor.
right? The last
Huh,
time that
Jake?
Jake had come on the show, he was actually laying down, and Denise kind of giggled and said, "You look comfortable. I'm going to get my pillow too." And he laughed. Jake gets dialysis
Right.
a few times a week. We're still live. Jake
Yeah.
gets dialysis a few times a week. So that's why he was laying down. So I had talked to my doctor and I said, hey, I have a friend that needs a kidney. Are my kidneys good enough for me to be able to give him one?
Give one.
And my doctor looked at me and said, Brenda, your kidneys
Brenda?
have got problems. You don't want to be giving that to somebody else. I'm like, oh,
But it was a nice
well then,
thought,
shit.
Brenda.
I tried. I tried. I was
Right.
trying. So, I mean, I just can't stand to see when people are suffering from things that can be fixed, but because they don't pay the highest dollar for it, they don't get it, you know? So, I just had him in mind, and I do all the time. I message Jake and I ask him how he's doing. Um, you know, and because I worry, I do this. I make my rounds. I'll message Tommy, see how he's doing. I'll message Jake, see how he's doing. I make my rounds, like, every day, every other day or so. I got to make my rounds. But yes, Boo, that's what I
That's
said.
so
I
cool.
have two, so I might as well just give up one. I mean, shit, I'm not using it anyways. Well, apparently it's not really good, so I tried really hard. So if anybody wants to give Jake a kidney, let us know. Because I'm pretty
Not
sure
sure what his blood type is, right? But
he can use one. Well, they actually can do that different now. If the
really,
blood type's off, yeah, they have medication that can make it
they can change it
compatible.
out.
Yeah.
That's
Why not?
cool.
What do you? It's just blood donations is where they have to try to keep it as normal as possible.
Ah,
But
okay.
uh, but I tried. I wanted to. I would have done it too. If he would have said yes, you can do that. I would have gotten a hold of Jake right away and said, "Hey, let's get this set up. I'm going to
Oh,
give you I'm going to
I know
give
you
you
would,
one of my
Brenda.
kidneys." I would have. I would have. I mean,
You're the
I give out
best,
a
Brenda.
lung if
You're the
I
best.
have
You're
to.
you're the best.
And I figure, well, at my age, if I give them one and anything happens to me, well, maybe I helped one person to sacrifice myself to make somebody else live. So
Oh,
I kind of don't have a problem with that. I really don't. If I can give somebody else a few more years, then it to me it would be worth it. You know. I think God put us on this earth and made our organs uh, to the point where we can change them out like spare parts on a car.
well, it
So,
seems that way, doesn't it?
yeah. Although I'm not, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm not an organ donor, but I'm not an organ donor for a reason. Because I think that when that is put on your record, I think that makes it hard for them to do everything that they can to fix what's wrong with you. Because they want those organs because they go to the highest dollar. Nope. But if I
Yeah,
know somebody that needs one and I can give it to them, I have no problem giving it.
that's wild.
I
Yeah.
really do not. Now, you can't really have my eyes because they're crappy. I can't. My eyes are crappy. You may be able to see something, but you're not going to see a whole lot. You
Oh
know,
God.
I know what things on me are good and what they're not. So I wouldn't really want
Oh
to pass that
gosh.
on to somebody else. Yeah, sure, you can have my eyes, and they wake up. Damn, that bitch was blind too. What? So, but anyways, guys, we've gone a little over. So I think my other dog has got to go outside. And I am going to be, Andy and we don't have a show scheduled here tomorrow night. Because the holiday weekend, I didn't expect to be able to, get guests like that. Glenn is having his final Misfit show, I believe. Is it, Andy? Tomorrow night. So he would
Yes.
like Andy and I to go on there to do the final one. And it's going to be about world ending conspiracies and why we're still alive. And he wants it funny. He doesn't want it serious. So I can't say, well, we do things on God's time, not ours. So,
Funny. Okay.
you know, so we have to do it in a funny
Maybe you
way.
can find some funny conspiracies you can think of. People come up with.
I have a
There
funny,
are some funny ones out there. Okay. I mean,
yeah, you know,
yeah.
like what a lot of men think of themselves. That's freaking hilarious. But, you know, I I hate to see it go because I started it with him, 2 years ago, but he's got other things to do. So I figured, okay, I'll go. Why not? He can have part of the original crew on there. It'll be okay. So that's where I'll be tomorrow night over on Sports Cat Misfit Show. I'm not sure what else I'm calling it. Something something to that effect. But but we are going to go.
Well, we hope the show that we did informs people and helps people make good decisions and good choices, and
Yes.
you know,
And
stay away
and
from
I
the bad
hope
people.
that, people will understand where we're coming from instead of criticizing us for things that we never did. You know, there are so many good people that I will give Penny credit. She found us some good guests, but their guest I would love to have back on. I really would. But because of the incident and what happened with her, she's gotten to them and they won't come back on the show. So, which saddens me, because these shows are not about, this person or that person. They're about information. They're about information. So, but anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and we're going to
God
get
bless
out
you
of here.
guys.
Like always, everybody, please be kind to one another. Y'all have a good night, and we will start back up next weekend. And we're going back to our normal time. This extra early hour has been killing us. So we're going to go back to our normal time starting next weekend. And we will be on all weekend. And I'm probably going to start doing the Sunday night shows also, so Jake can participate. And until then, we will see you all next weekend. Have a good night.
Goodbye for now, from Beyond the Box.
Please join us again for Beyond the Box, Friday and Saturday evenings, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Join us for more intel bombs from our extraordinary guests.
Good night, Putin. Good night, Tucker.